It was supposed to be a normal day in the skies, just two planes sitting on the same runway waiting for takeoff. But in just 5 minutes, 583 people would lose their lives. Not because of a broken engine, not because of a storm, but because of a small misunderstanding. This is a story of how fog, pressure, and confusion turned a quiet airport on a peaceful island into the place where the world's worst plane crash happened. And what's even harder to believe, neither plane ever left the ground. Tenerife is a small island in the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa. It's a beautiful place where people go on vacation. But on March 27, 1977, something happened that no one could have expected. That day, a bomb went off at a nearby airport, Gran Canaria. Because of that, many planes were told to land at another airport, Los Rodeos in Tenerife. This airport was small. It wasn't built for big planes like the Boeing 747. It had just one runway and little space for parking. As more planes arrived, the airport became crowded and hard to manage. People were tired, the staff was stressed, and the weather, it was just getting worse by the minute. One of the planes was KLM Flight 4805, coming from the Netherlands. On board were 235 people, most of them tourists. The pilot, Captain Jacob Van Zenten, was very experienced. He was even featured in the airline's training videos. He was calm, professional, and trusted by everyone. The second plane was Pan Am Flight 1736, coming from the US. It had 396 people on board, including many families and older travelers heading to the Canary Islands. The captain, Victor Grubbs, also had many years of experience. Both planes were parked one behind the other on the only runway. They couldn't move until the path was clear. As the minutes passed, pressure started to build. Pilots, passengers, and the control tower were all trying to manage a difficult situation. As the delay continued, Captain Van Zenten started to worry. His crew was close to going over their work hour limit, and rules said they couldn't fly if that happened. To save time, he decided to refuel the plane in Tenerife, which made it even heavier and added more delay. Meanwhile, fog started to roll in quickly. The air became so thick, people couldn't see more than a few meters ahead. The Pan Am plane was stuck behind the KLM jet and couldn't move until it cleared the runway. The fog made it hard to see signs, turns, and even other planes. Everyone now had to depend on just one thing, their radios. But in the middle of all of this, something went very wrong. The KLM plane moved onto the runway and got ready for takeoff. The pilot thought they were cleared to go, but they weren't. The control tower said, "Okay, stand by for takeoff, I will call you." But the pilot missed the word standby. At the same time, the Pan Am jet was still taxiing on the same runway, trying to find the exit in the fog. Then it happened. The KLM jet began to speed up. In the Pan Am cockpit, someone shouted, "There it is, that plane is coming." The Pan Am plane tried to turn off the runway fast, but it was too late. The KLM plane smashed into the Pan Am jet at full speed. The crash tore both planes apart. The KLM exploded in a fireball. The Pan Am caught fire too. In just seconds, hundreds of lives were gone. It was chaos. The fog was so thick, rescuers couldn't find the crash right away. Some drove past it, others ran towards the fire without seeing it clearly where they were going. Out of the 396 people on the Pan Am flight, only 61 survived, most of them from the front section. But on the KLM flight, no one made it out. In total, 583 people died that day. Families waited for news that would never come. And around the world, people asked the same question. How could something like this happen without a single plane leaving the ground? When investigators looked into the crash, they found it wasn't just one mistake. It was many small things that built up. The KLM pilot thought he was cleared for takeoff when he wasn't. The Pan Am crew didn't know the KLM had started to take off. The control tower didn't have radar and couldn't see what was happening. And the fog, it just made everything worse. They also found something very important. In the KLM cockpit, the co-pilot tried to speak up, but he backed down when the captain disagreed. That moment, just a few seconds long, could have saved hundreds of lives. After the crash, the world realized that flying needed to change. Airlines created something called Crew Resource Management, or CRM. It taught pilots to speak up, no matter who they were flying with. Captains were taught to listen and double-check. Everyone had a voice. Radio communication rules were also changed. The word takeoff was only allowed when the plane was 100% cleared to go. Airports around the world added better radar systems so air traffic control could track planes even in the fog. After what happened at Tenerife, flying became safer. Pilots, co-pilots, and controllers all began working as a team, not just following orders. It was the biggest lesson the aviation world ever learned, and it was written in the ashes of tragedy. Today, every safe landing, every smooth takeoff is part of Tenerife's legacy, and it reminds us one small mistake in the sky or on the ground can change everything. Tenerife will always be remembered not just for what was lost, but for what the world learned.